Welcome, everyone, to CDO's magazine series of one-on-one interviews with CDOs and data leaders and key influencers. I'm your host, Robert Lutton, Vice President, Sandhill Consultants, and I'm coming to you today from Toronto, Canada, working with the CDO magazine. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Chitrang Shah, who is the founder and CEO of Savant Labs. Welcome, Chitrang.
Very welcome. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. Now, I wonder if I might be able to start and ask you to just provide a brief introduction on Savant Labs for those of our listeners that may not have heard of your organization.
Sure. We are a agentic AI automation platform for business analysts. Think of people who are spending half their time in spreadsheets doing manual work day in and day out. We help them automate their work so they can spend time doing bigger and better things.
And today we're going to be talking about the data analytics market. And I want to start with a quick recap because you're one of our subject matter experts in the space of data analytics. So when it comes to managing analytics demand, we see there's a couple of different approaches from tightly centralized control to open self-service. Based upon what you're seeing in the market, could you describe these two extremes and where do you think most organizations are heading?
It's a great question, and it's a question that most CDOs and data leaders struggle with, to be candid. I like to call this a pendulum swing. If you roll the tape back all the way, early 2010s, everybody was doing analytics in Excel. Still the case to the large extent today, but then there is a set of tools, self-service tools came in that allowed business analysts to take some of that and put it into a no-code visual workflow and automate the work. That created the self-service analytics market. And people, data leaders were very excited on one hand because they are now allowing an average business users to automate analytics, but it created a massive governance problem on the other side. Data living on people's desktop, not having visibility on what data set is being used and whether the report is even correct before it's published, created a whole host of governance challenges for data leaders. And then came the wave of cloud data warehouse vendors, Snowflake, Databricks of the world, and they came in and said, well, stop that. You should do all of your analytics in a centralized governed environment. You should have a clean data that everybody operates under, which was a great vision. And people gravitated from self-service to central analytics. Some organization went into a lockdown mode where they would not allow self-service at all. It would be a job of a central team to collect, process, analyze the data, curate data, and anybody who needed access to data would go and take from that curated data set, or they would go and put a request for central analytics team to build new data sets. And that created a different set of problems. The demand on analytics kept growing on one side, and on the other side, the people who can build and automate analytics, namely the data engineers, just were far and few in between. So organizations could not scale the centralized approach. And now with the agentic AI coming into the play, we are in the second wave of self-service analytics where most data leaders are trying to find a balance. Of course, there is a value to having a curated data sets, but the data engineering team can't be the bottleneck. So they are looking for a solution that enables self-service and but with centralized governance and control. And so I like to call the pendulum swing from the left to the right completely. And now it's trying to come back into somewhere in between where you can find best of the both worlds.
Definitely a challenging perspective. From your point of view, how do you see this growing imbalance that you talked about between the analysts and the engineers impacting agility and decision-making capabilities within inside the organization?
Certainly, as I said, there are three components to it. There is There's process, there's people, and there's tool. I'd like to think of it as as data leaders think about it, they will look to establish center of excellence for analytics, and they will look to, depending on the organization's maturity, they will want to take different approach. For smaller organizations, a centralized analytics team will make sense, but as the organization complexity and people grow, they will want to start continuing to go into self-service. But the center of excellence will put the processes in place. Tools like Savant will hopefully come in and provide them the tooling to enforce the centralized governance processes, but also empower. So I do see the center of excellence being a key component for data leaders to find the balance.
So let's just expand upon that a little bit. You talk about, the bottleneck between, the people, process, and or technology. From Savant Labs' point of view, how would you advise the CDO to prioritize fixing the bottleneck, and where is the bottleneck? Would you see it as technology? Do you see it as a people problem, or is it a process, or a combination of all three?
It's a combination, but generally speaking, look, my opinion could be biased, but technology enables change management. Anytime you're going from one extreme to another, the biggest problem is change management, whether it's processes or people. And having a right technology allows you to instrument the change management in a more thoughtful, systematic way. We believe Savant is one of those tools. You bring it in, depending wherever your maturity curve is, whether you're a fully self-service or fully centralized. This allows you to start building a central center of excellence around tooling. Most organizations I've seen, they are obviously not going to open the gates completely, but tools like Savant allows them to try it with a few early adopter users, build processes around it, and as they see success, expand the program. And I think I would advise all data leaders to consider tooling as a step one in the process.
So CDOs, there you go. Do take a look at the tooling. Moving from the self-service and giving it a little bit of reality check, we understand that hiring alone isn't sustainable. You can't keep on adding resources. What does a true self-service analytics platform look like when it's working well? And what are some of the pitfalls that you see organizations may fall into?
It's a great question. I think there are three things that I would recommend you as an analytics leader look at. First is ease of use. The self-service doesn't go anywhere if your analysts can't use the platform. Right. There are a lot of analytics tools that are out there. Some look like ETL tools that potentially can help analysts. And if you look at them in a 2x2 matrix, the capability and the usability, the most tools you probably can't find capability, but you can't find usability. And that's a failure point to me. Any self-service tool truly has to be self-service.
Right. And
it needs to, so if an average analyst who lives in Excel can't use the tool, it's probably not the right fit for you. Right. Number one. Number two, this is your opportunity to democratize analytics with AI. Start to look for tools that can leverage your AI, but it can let you govern workflows around it and help you democratize the use of AI. So yes, the first generation of self-service tools came out with the drag and drop visual workflow builder, and all that was great. But the next generation of tools have to have agentic AI built in so you can democratize AI. It's not enough to have the agentic AI provided by the tool. The tool has to integrate with your AI in order to govern and make sure your data privacy is in place. Third piece is scale. Anything you do, often scale has also a different flavor, but obviously it needs to support a lot of your users. It needs to support a variety of the data silos or data systems you might find. It needs to be able to connect into all of those. It needs to process data at a very large scale, but also from the economic standpoint, the tool has to support your infrastructure, and not the cost can't grow linearly with the usage. Otherwise, it becomes prohibitive to scale self-service. So keep that in mind as you look at the technologies.
Chitrang, we appreciate your time today. We hope that we get the chance to have you come back and share your knowledge and experience in the ever-evolving state of data analytics.
Thank you, Robert. Very nice to be here.
It's a pleasure. And for our listeners, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you.
Thank you.